Psalm 40, the Lord who delivers and sustains. Psalm 40 in the Book of Psalms is a thanksgiving psalm that moves from gratitude for past deliverance into renewed dependence on God amid present difficulty. It is both personal testimony and spiritual instruction, showing how remembrance of God's past help becomes the foundation for continued trust in future trials. The psalm also carries a forward-looking dimension, pointing toward the deeper fulfillment of God's saving purposes through perfect obedience. The psalm opens with a vivid account of deliverance after a period of waiting. The psalmist describes crying out in distress and being heard by God, who lifts him from a place of despair and instability and sets him on secure ground. This transformation is expressed through imagery of rescue from a pit, symbolizing both external trouble and internal hopelessness. The result of this deliverance is the gift of a new song, representing renewed worship that flows from experienced grace. The emphasis falls not on human achievement but on divine intervention, understood as an act of mercy rather than reward. From this experience arises a declaration of blessing for those who place their trust in God rather than in arrogance or false security. Trust is presented as the defining mark of a life aligned with God, standing in contrast to self-reliance or deceptive confidence. The psalm suggests that true stability is found not in human strength or ambition but in dependence upon God's faithfulness. A significant shift occurs as the psalm moves from gratitude to reflection on obedience. God is portrayed as not primarily desiring ritual offerings in isolation, but rather wholehearted commitment and faithful action. The psalmist expresses delight in doing God's will, indicating that genuine devotion is internal and relational rather than merely external or ceremonial. The idea that God's instruction is written within the heart conveys inward transformation, where divine teaching shapes desires and actions from within rather than being imposed externally. This section is often seen as anticipating the broader theme found in the letter to the Hebrews in the New Testament, where these verses are applied to Christ as the one who fulfills perfect obedience to God's will. In that reading, sacrificial systems are understood as incomplete on their own, while Christ embodies complete submission and fulfillment of divine purpose. Thus, the psalm is viewed as both a reflection of personal devotion and a foreshadowing of ultimate redemptive fulfillment. The tone then shifts again as the psalmist acknowledges ongoing sinfulness and human weakness. Despite prior deliverance, there remains awareness of moral failure and the inability to stand in personal strength before God. This recognition emphasizes that dependence on divine mercy is not limited to initial rescue but continues throughout life. Human frailty persists even after experiences of restoration, reinforcing the need for ongoing grace. The final section returns to urgent prayer, asking for continued help and deliverance from present troubles. At the same time, it affirms confidence that those who seek God will ultimately rejoice in Him. The psalm concludes with a striking confession of dependence. Even in poverty and weakness, the psalmist is not forgotten, for God remains attentive and caring. The closing declaration affirms God as both helper and deliverer, expressing trust that does not rest on human sufficiency but on divine faithfulness. Taken as a whole, Psalm 40 presents a movement from deliverance to worship, from worship to obedience, and from obedience to renewed dependence. It portrays a life shaped by remembered grace and sustained by ongoing trust, where obedience flows from inward transformation and hope rests entirely on God's faithful care.
Psalm 40, to the chief musician, a psalm of David. I waited patiently for the Lord, and He inclined to me, and heard my cry. He also brought me up out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my steps. He has put a new song in my mouth, praise to our God. Many will see it and fear, and will trust in the Lord. Blessed is the man who makes the Lord his trust, and does not respect the proud, nor such as turn aside to lies. Many, O Lord my God, are your wonderful works which you have done, and your thoughts toward us cannot be recounted to you in order. If I would declare and speak of them, they are more than can be numbered. Sacrifice and offering you did not desire, my ears you have opened. Burnt offering and sin offering you did not require. Then I said, Behold, I come. In the scroll of the book it is written of me, I delight to do your will, O my God, and your law is within my heart. I have proclaimed the good news of righteousness in the great assembly. Indeed, I do not restrain my lips, O Lord, you yourself know. I have not hidden your righteousness within my heart. I have declared your faithfulness and your salvation. I have not concealed your loving kindness and your truth from the great assembly. Do not withhold your tender mercies from me, O Lord. Let your loving kindness and your truth continually preserve me. For innumerable evils have surrounded me. My iniquities have overtaken me, so that I am not able to look up. They are more than the hairs of my head, therefore my heart fails me. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me. O Lord, make haste to help me. Let them be ashamed and brought to mutual confusion who seek to destroy my life. Let them be driven backward and brought to dishonor who wish me evil. Let them be confounded because of their shame, who say to me, Aha! Aha! Let all those who seek you rejoice and be glad in you. Let such as love your salvation say continually, The Lord be magnified. But I am poor and needy, yet the Lord thinks upon me. You are my help and my deliverer. Do not delay, O my God.